Jerome. Today we have Jerome Rattoni as a guest. He's a father of 2 children and a husband. He's also a master instructor at Movnat, and I believe he's also the relations director. You can explain a little bit later what it is. He's the founder and owner of Scarabs, which he will also explain. And then he has a past and some experience, a background in sales and in football, and he's a really nice guy as well. So welcome, Jerome. Hi.
Thank you very much.
And great to have you here. And it's only a couple of weeks ago we had a chat on your weekly interview where you get Movnat coaches and tell them about their approach and their location, and then we were taking up memories about how we met and everything. But we'll come to that. So first, just how are you? How are you doing?
Thank you very much, Ken, for the introduction. I'm very good. It's good to talk to you again. Like you said, about 2 weeks ago, we had a great conversation. And now it's the way around. So I was interviewing you, and now you interview me. And I'm glad to be on your podcast or interview platform because it's important that we interact and we, like I said the last time, we have a community before being a coach. This is important. So I'm good. Thank you.
Yeah. Good. Yeah, it seems like this whole situation strengthens the community in some kind of way because we have less personal contacts. So we look for people we know around the world and share ideas and information in a digital way. So just briefly, how does your day looks like now with this quite stranger situation? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So actually, when you hear people talking about lockdown, they were talking about watching movies and they watch everything on earth and they can't find any new movies. I think I haven't watched one movie or something because I was working in a different way. I always hustled, but I never work this way in a digital world so much because I'm used to traveling. I'm used to meeting people during the workshops, the movement workshops, and also train outside, also coaching locally in Budapest, where I live, in Hungary. So yeah, everything is now digital, and I have to communicate a lot with different gyms that are supposed to host our events. We keep postponing events from the beginning of the year. We try to follow up on every government rules, where the lockdown is finished, how is it extended, what are the restrictions, can I actually travel out of Hungary, can I go back when there are a lot of headaches in logistics and operations. So this is taking some time. But we also took on some projects that we couldn't do while traveling. The first one, you mentioned it, the MCT show, which is a platform that we give to our certified trainers, the most experienced ones that have actually a long story shared with Movnat, and we are happy to give them a platform and they can share, talking about how they deal with this crisis, how they implement online solutions, what are they up to, how hard it is to run a gym when you actually have to close the door for 2 months, many topics. So, and now what I want to do with, we have already 6 shows. We'll have a 7th with two female instructors next Friday. But what I do now with this content is to take some extracts and maybe, share it in shorter formats with specific topics. Addressing many things around fitness, health, and so on. So that's that, and also opening, because I'm responsible for Europe. Europe means different cultures, different languages, and we make a point on opening Movnat to different languages, like French, for example, because this is my native language, German, Spanish, Portuguese, and many other languages that we have a big community there, you know, whether it's in Europe or if we talk about Canada, you know, Quebec, speaking French, Brazil, they speak Portuguese, and in South America, they speak Spanish. So we have e-courses, you know, like that English, American English, and we spend time now translating them. So
great. Yeah, I
yeah,
can imagine you don't have time to watch movies.
especially
So,
when you have to translate, supervise, fine tune like 8 hours of program that cannot be translated by someone else outside of Movnat because we have a specific terminology. I spent a lot of time on my laptop, more than I would like, but I always motivate myself thinking that this will be a very useful tool for all the Movnat community. You know, this is how I motivate myself.
great, great. Thanks. So before we continue, I'd like to actually, for people new to this, there's a lot of information on my website. It can be on the Movnat website as well, but just briefly. So we have the natural movements. It's basically movements that we teach ourselves when we are a child, like running, balancing, jumping, lifting, all these things. Crawling is one of them. So, but how does it interact with Movnat? What is the difference? What is the natural movement as a system, and what does Movnat to do with it? Can you just briefly explain for people that are still a bit confused or don't really know the difference between the two or what it is?
Sure, yeah, that's a great question because it's a very usual question we get. You know that, Ken, we get that all the time. How can we explain it quickly? We would say that natural movement is the practice and Movnat is the method.
Yeah, the system to improve your practice.
Exactly. So it's a structured way to practice natural movement. And we have at Movnat, we have our own definition of what natural movement means, because you know those two words are like common words, and put together, people would say, "Well, for me, that's not the definition." We would say, "Okay, good for you." We have our own definition of what natural movement is, and is defined on 3 principles that are practical movements, adaptable movements, adaptation of those practical movements wherever you are, because we believe that the connection with the environment is very strong. So we don't talk only about moving in nature, but moving naturally wherever you are, whether it's indoors, outdoors, in a gym, in your house, and so on. And the last point is to be efficient in doing all those practical movements everywhere you are. And this is where the Movnat method comes into play, because we have tools to make you more efficient while moving naturally. And we have trainer manuals, we have tons of videos, we have a structured way, and this is where Danny Clark, after Erwan Lecor founded Movnat, he hired Danny Clark, who's very structured in the world of fitness, and made a point on programming it very well, breaking down way more than we used to do every movement, so that when we talk about ground movement, we have a plethora of movement that can be broken down, and we understand why is it all connected. Same thing with climbing, same thing with jumping. We would go and break down every single piece.
And this is also one of the things that initially very spoke to me and why I got so interested, because a common misconception with all things fitness, but also this, is that, oh, you already have to be fit to start this. But because it's a method, a system, it's really broken down until the point, okay, we'll just start with walking or standing or sitting, and then we build back up. And what I also like, and you see it more and more now because more people are involved and there's a lot of motivation, it's a living system. It's constantly evolving, and like also now, Danny is recording the metabolic training, I believe, the conditioning.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's things are moving and things are getting broader, and you can train in more in a holistic way, actually. Yeah? So yeah, so good. Thanks for this. And now I would really like to know is, how did you end up being working full time for Movnat? So can you tell us a little bit about your own story?
Okay. Yeah. Thank you for the question. I will try to be short. I was a sales executive for many years in the automotive world. So I was always a sportsman, but I wanted to also, travel, learn languages, and learn business. So I was always interested in both worlds, sports and real business, I would say. So what I did was to travel, the Erasmus program, when you are going to European universities and you have exchange programs programs. And I ended up working now in Hungary, working for an automotive company in the software industry, navigation software for cars. And at the same time, I was playing football and I was getting a lot of injuries, nagging injuries. And I was always questioning, why should I go to the doctor all the time for the doctor to tell me to stop doing what I like to do? So I was paying some people to just tell me to stay home and do nothing, or put some anti-inflammatory cream.
Yeah. Does this hurt? Okay, don't do it anymore. Is the advice.
So I started to do my research, and I found, like many others, the video, the workout the world forgot, on YouTube from Erwan Lecor. That was a video on the still existing Movnat channel. More than 1 million views for this video.
I will post the link as well, but it's also on my website, so people can watch it again. So,
okay, and no problem. Yeah, that's good. Because if people haven't seen this video, they are in for a treat, because even though the video is 10 years old, it's still very well and inspiring. So I was like, okay, I'm a football player, and I spend a lot of time sitting on my chair from morning to evening to earn a living, but for what? Then I lack the vision, what I like to call on the long-term motivation. This is vision. And bit by bit, I started to train Movnat more and more, and I certified the 3 levels. I became an instructor for Movnat in Europe, and the ratio of time, that was maybe 80-20, for like 80% of my time was dedicated for business, 20 for Movnat, started to shift, but shifting like a lot in the last 2-3 years, to the point where I was like, it's getting very hard for me to keep up with my work, my primary revenue.
Yeah, when I saw your schedule for Europe, the courses that you did the last couple of years, the certifications, I was like, how is he doing this? He has a family, he has a full-time job. Like, whoa.
Well, I started to also question myself in this, and my family, my parents, they would say, how can you keep up? It involved lack of sleep, a lot. Because I was also traveling to Korea, Japan, US. So it was a lot of jet lag. And then I was traveling in Europe. So that was just an organic evolution. Like we had a discussion with Movnat, because I was not only involved in the workshops, but I was involved also in all the marketing aspects. I always like to advertise the brand, I would say, because I was thinking, if I want my workshops to be filled up, if I want people to know that we exist, we have to be present on social media. We have to send newsletter. We have to do all these things. And that was kind of lacking. But over the years, we hired a marketing director, a social media expert, and, things are clicking. And in my case, they wanted me to ensure that I keep a good relationship with a lot of people in the Movnat community, and I keep the ball rolling basically. So keeping in touch with the licensed facilities, make sure that they know that we have equipment for them if they want to, and all the discussions on licensing, programming. So that's the term, relations director come into play, because I love interacting with the community, and I believe I have, a good skill set for that. And
Absolutely. And I think you do a very good job on this as well. So very good. I want to just interrupt you briefly and then go back to the level 2 certification where we met. So it was in Texas in the US, and we were just two guys standing in the gym there. There was no one else because we were a little bit late and they were training outside, and we were just like, okay, what's this? But okay, it came all fine, turned out fine. And then it turned out we were in the same hotel, so we walked every day there and back. And
those walks were, sorry to interrupt, those walks were very useful because we got to know each other through walking and spending chill time together. That was not only the certification, but all this downtime was very important.
Exactly. That's the social part and the community part, and also the walks were very useful to work off a little bit of soreness from the workshop.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So there as well, I saw how passionate you were, and then I met you again briefly here in Belgium. But then last year on the level 3 certification, you showed up as a instructor as well when I was about to get certified, and I was so happy to see you in that role, because when I met you for the first time in the States, you were already so passionate about it, and I could see the ambition in you. And when I saw you showing up as a trainer, you radiated this passion to the other people. So I was really genuinely happy to see you like that. So that was like, okay, you made this path, and I know you worked very hard for it. Like you say, all the things you do and all the time you invest and the things you push into Movnat. So I think you do a very good job. So in that, I think, are you still there?
Sorry, Ken, I think we are freezing up. I don't know if you can hear me or see me.
I can hear you. I can see you, but
on my screen. So
I was saying that I was really happy to see you there as a trainer, because you created your own path. You set this as a goal as well. You invested a lot of time and energy, and there you were, and you did this. You were teaching with a lot of passion, a lot of care for other people. So I was saying you're doing a really good job. So I wanted to go back a little bit again to this level 2 certification, because there we also had a Combatives workshop, and not everybody knows that Movnat has a part Combatives and Aquatives. And can you, because I get the question quite a lot, is swimming natural movement, or is swimming in the Movnat curriculum? So can you just briefly explain a little bit or talk a little bit about these two sections?
Yes, and hopefully the connection will stay, because we are freezing a little bit, but we'll see how it goes. So yes, Combatives and Aquatics are two separate versions, I would say, compared to the level 1, level 2, and level 3, where we focus a lot on locomotion and manipulation. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Fine, we're still here.
So Obviously, combatives and aquatics are all based on natural movements, but they have different goals, and the setup is different as well because you cannot just spend talking about self-defense in the level 1, level 2. So that's why we have a separate 2 days for that. Can you hear me? Hello again. Let's hope it will be a more stable connection now.
Mm-hmm. All right, we'll see what we can do.
So, passionate trainer, Houston, level 2. We were talking about combatives
and aquatics. Yep. So if you can just briefly explain how they connect to Movnat, why are they a little bit different, and what do you learn there?
Okay. So I'm responsible in Europe for the level 1, level 2 certification workshop, which is based on locomotion and manipulation. And the two workshops that you are mentioning, aquatics and combatives, are managed by Vic Verdier, who is our master instructor and a former general manager of Movnat.
Crazy guy.
Man in black, we call him. Yeah. And because he has a lot of experience and credential in self-defense and also in diving. You know?
Yeah, if you see the workshops and the skills and the things that he trained, the list goes like, you scroll down. It's an incredible guy.
Yeah, that's why the skill set is specifically for him to teach. And he wants to dedicate 2 full days to self-defense or to combatives and 2 full days to aquatics, which is a mix of breathing techniques, refining swimming techniques, and also rescuing people in the water, in panic in the water, and so on. So it's two different workshops. And but for people to be a Movnat master trainer, they have to complete level 1, level 2, level 3, and they also have to do combatives and aquatics because natural movement is also based on swimming and also based on self-defense, and not only manipulation and locomotion. So that's why we have this curriculum this way.
Yeah, and in the combatives, what I really liked about it is really to the point. There's no fancy tricks or things or techniques that you have to practice for years and years to be able to maybe perhaps make a chance that it's going to work when you use it or not. It's very when you walk away with things that you can directly apply, and yeah, therefore I've been looking since the combatives. I've been looking for other systems, but there's not much on the market that offers something complete that is still yeah, to learn to approach in 2 days.
I've done this course 5 times already. So I've done it as a student, and then I did it several times as an assistant for Vic. Be his punching bag, you know, dummy for demonstrations. And not only this, is because I really love his teaching approach and the fact that he always changes his workshops based on who he has in front of him and based on the culture and the country and the needs of this country. Okay, so he will check what are the crimes, you know, in this country, what is the biggest threat, and he will address this threat to this particular crowd. So it's not one solution for all. It's very specific, and he always like to find new examples, new drills. So I'm always learning, and he's a funny guy to be around as well, even though he's tough, you know.
Yeah, and I can imagine because you're training these different situations and location, it comes in. If you feel a little bit safer on your travel as well.
Yeah. I mean, you know, my biggest point when I explain my own Movnat experience, the usual question is, what did you gain from Movnat apart from moving better? Is self-confidence. And because you find self-confidence when you are able to do things on your own, when you are independent, which means that if you don't need any assistance to climb a wall or to jump without hurting yourself and so on, or you can help others, well, your self-confidence increases. Same way when you can defend yourself, or at least you are aware of the situations. You're not a victim all the time. So if you're in a metro or in a crowded place, you are able to detect who would be the dodgy people and stay away from them, or how to orient yourself compared to where they are. And there are many, many aspects without even fighting that makes you more aware and increase your self-confidence, your body language, so you can transfer some energy to the potential predators if they see you as a potential victim. It's not bulletproof, and Vic never pretended that it will solve every single problem, but that can help you a lot. And yeah, I'm way more confident in this aspect since I did this course. Same with aquatics. You don't know what it is if you never did it, to rescue someone who's panicking in the water, drowning, and wants to fight you when you try to help this person because they are in panic, you know. So we do all those tests during those workshops.
Yeah, yeah. And I believe you have to be at least a level 2 to attend these certifications. And no, not anymore.
You don't need to any certification. I mean, to have the certification, Combatives and Aquatics, you need to be a Movnat certified trainer first. But anyone can attend the workshop itself.
Okay.
But they won't get certified, but they will attend and they will learn.
Yeah, yeah, and there I see there's a lot of complementary and turnover from the regular Movnat, because yeah, in the self-defense situation, you will have to move. When you have to get away, when you have to defend yourself, you will have to move. So practicing Movnat and natural movements will therefore contribute to the fact, and same with swimming. When you're struggling with somebody who's drowning, it helps to be a better mover and to be able to have more control of your body. So the two are very complementary to each other.
Yeah. I give you one quick example. You know, we spend a lot of time in level 1 and in level 2 in ground movement now, more and more. And to be able to get up without helping yourself with 2 hands, maybe using only 1 hand or no hands at all, can be very important. If you were on the ground, someone pushed you and you have to get up from the ground again, defending yourself. So level 1, if you have a strong level 1 base, then you are able to understand all those movements can translate into what we call practical applications.
Yeah. So I was thinking about these things, and actually we have capacity to be able to manage the situation. We have confidence that will grow, and we have the community behind it. And probably you saw people from all over the world attending the workshops. And what is actually the main reason for people? People have all sorts of reasons, but probably you see like a common factor that comes up each time and each time. Why do people attend, and they want to get certified, or they want to improve their natural movement in the first place?
Well, there are a few key ones. I would say one is that people are bored of going to the gym, to the regular gym. They find it very artificial, superficial. They understand the concept of looking good, and I don't think anybody is against looking good. But some people don't make it a big priority, and they are fed up of having people around them always checking every single muscles that they have that are not very capable. You know, when we talk about just what we did recently, like swimming, helping, rescuing, defending yourself, some muscles will not be very functional for that aspect. So a lot of people who are thinking a lot about this decide to join those Movnat workshops because they want to find another solution. Okay, so I would say that that's the biggest one. and also people with injuries, you know, people who competed, who were in a car accident, or people who lost a lot of abilities, or simply time, you know, over time, like 30, 40, 50, you get a hip replacement and you don't know why. And then you realize that, oh, I sat down on my chair in my office for 30 years, didn't know much. And Movnat is proposing a very comprehensive system from the ground up with a lot of breakdowns for me to really get back to where I was before. So I want to test that. And the last aspect is what you mentioned, the community, that people help each other and there is no ego. People are always willing to share their trainings, how they move with their children in the garden or in the living room, which the furniture that they use as a training tool. So yeah, there are several reasons, but I would highlight those.
Yeah. What came up as well in your last interview with Danny was the common factor, and that we all love nature so much and being outdoors. And now, there's a big emphasis on immune system and how we can boost it, and just being outdoors is one of them. And in touch with the soil and these ground movements, these nutritious movements for your body actually will contribute to a healthy system. But another misconception is like that I hear often is, oh yeah, but it's only outdoors and the world, the workout, the world forgot. Yeah, I don't have this in my back garden. So I live in a city. I don't really need these movements. What can you tell to these people?
Well, they don't need those movements, but the movements are needed.
Exactly.
So they don't think they need it because they never encounter any situation where they need it, but they don't realize that they are shrinking day after day till to the point where at some point they really realize it one day or another. And unfortunately, there is a say that I love: pay now or pay later. It's working well. Pay now, realize that you have some work to do, or life will make you pay back, with a lot of suffering, a lot of pain. How many people, we should tell those people, check the statistics of people having back pain, wrist pain, on laptop. How many people have hurt wrists? Simply this. And if they would spend a bit of time crawling a little bit, getting up, using a tripod transition, gripping. I have a ball now that I like to play with as we talk. There's so many little things that people should do to live a more, I would say, pain-free life. People look for comfort, but all they are doing is shrinking their comfort zone. That's
exactly. And comfort doesn't always make us happy, because people are driven more to these extreme sports and things. And this is also, I think, a part because people are too much comfortable and they want to experience something else. And often what I tell people as well, people like, oh, you're a personal trainer. And some people still think it's like with famous people and you travel with them. But then I say I make life easier. I make life more comfortable, because often you drop something under the table and it's just much more fun if you can go, hop, I got it, instead of like, So, and I think Movnat definitely can help in these things with small things, but also in the bigger picture for people that like obstacle courses, for example, or even are hiking in nature and have to put up their tent in the evening. Ground movement, getting up, carrying wood to make a fire, all these things.
There is a thing also that we talk about community, and if you work in an office like I did for many years, there is also a community, but there is a community of people that are mostly unhealthy. There can be many things. Let's say overweight, okay? So if you are surrounded by overweight people, it's totally normal to be overweight. You know, you don't realize that you stand out. I have a quick story, I think, about a colleague that is a very good friend of mine, and he was big time overweight, and he was never interested in, you know, movement so much. He's an engineer, very qualified one, and but he saw my post in the morning, like walking and doing my stuff, and he was like, how do you keep up? I'm just saying, I wake up and I walk in the morning and I breathe some fresh air. That's it. And he was like, oh, let me try that. And he has a hill next to his house, and he started to walk. And he was like, oh, that's very hard. But every day, 5 a.m. he was getting there, and he enjoyed the view. And he started to post the view every morning, to the point where he lost, I think he lost close to 20 kilos or more, man, even. And he had to change his clothes. And his face trimmed. And now he's telling me he's running the hill, and he feels so much. The point is, if we can be only an example out of this community, if we can inspire one person a day, our job is done. I'm always saying that if I can inspire only one person a day, the day is completed, the day is checked.
Exactly, because they will inspire other people as well. Like in your story, I'm sure he inspired more people by doing this.
Yeah, and now I'm telling him, let's go together. You know, now I have a training buddy, you know. So that's and those stories I heard many of them over the years. So yeah, we have to inspire people. We are still the pioneers in this field, and that's why we will get this question over and over again, and we have to be ready to you know, lead by example.
Great. All right. So before we wrap it up, because I want to be a bit respectful of your time as well, and I'm a bit worried we're gonna freeze again. So can you just tell people if they want to start with Movnat, what is the easiest way, except if they're around here, to come to me? But now in these online times, at the moment, where should they start?
Okay, so Ken, first of all, I have to say people in your area are very lucky to have you and your home gym. I mean, your man-made gym that you did it yourself.
Wait till you see the garden. It's almost there.
So I would say that you're a very good example of what the community brings, because we have our HQ team, you know, that I belong now to this HQ team where we travel all over the world giving workshops. We'll get there. We'll get there.
Eventually.
You know, adaptation is one of our things.
Exactly. And persistence. Keep going.
Where did I froze?
So that you were part of the HQ and you travel around to certify people?
Yes. And so we certify local trainers for them to empower their local communities. And this is the long-term goal of Movnat, is to have a lot of local trainers so they can teach not only without much traveling, anywhere we cannot travel at that time, plus train them in their own languages. You know, that's very important. So I would say try to find a local trainer, a Movnat trainer. But if you are with a tight budget, I would say, and you don't know anything about Movnat, start to look at the YouTube channel. The Movnat YouTube channel is very good. There are playlists like the Movement Library with more than 100 videos that are very short videos, and for every single movement you can check and test by yourself.
And follow Jerome on his Instagram, because he almost has daily videos.
Yes, I'm very into this. I try to, because anyway I practice. So you froze again?
Yeah, you're still there at the
connection is not good today. I don't know what's going on.
Keep talking. Are you there still? Okay. Okay. I think it's time to close it down. But
let me answer this question if I
yeah,
can.
sorry.
So people can find resources for free on YouTube, the Movnat channel. They can sign up to the newsletter to get a free weekly workout called Maps. In your mailbox, you receive a workout every week called Maps. And then you can check local trainers. And if you're really into it, then you can check our workshops. We have a level 1, level 2 certifications. And we also have combatives, aquatics, and of course, Instagram. So like I said, I'm sharing my training, you know, not everything, but when I practice every day. So I figure out sometimes that it's good to just record 1 minute and just share what I'm doing. A lot of trainers in the Movnat instructor team are doing this. So follow us on Instagram, Jerome Scarabs. That's my name on Instagram. And contact us, you know, feel free to reach out to us. We are available and we can answer your questions.
Cool. As a last question, something I will ask everyone is, can you give one tip what they can start with today? So it can be anything, but so they don't have to run to the computer, look up a combo or anything, just one thing to practice today or the next couple of days. Very basic, no equipment, just what is the one thing you want to leave them with?
Spend time on the ground. Kneel, squat, side bend sit, crawl a little bit. This is the foundation. You know, connect yourself to the ground and as a light warm-up, and then just walk. Just go outside. If you're lucky to have some fresh air around you with no noise, you know, like a big city. But even in a city, I would say wake up early and walk for half an hour minimum. That will set up your mind and that will actually burn some fat because I would recommend to be fasted when you do it. Just a glass of water and just go outside. That's it. And everything will open up.
Great. Thank you. Yeah, I personally like to walk as well, but also to spend a lot of time on the ground because it is like this natural massage, especially when it's a little bit of a harder surface. And just explore and see what comes out. And some positions might not work for you today, but if you do it regularly, they might open up and you might discover new things that don't work today. And then so on and so on. And yeah, if you need help with it or inspiration, there's always videos. You can always reach out to one of us, someone local. And if you want to continue, then one day you will end up with Jerome or one of his colleagues. Good, Jerome. It was very pleasant talking to you, besides even with all the interruptions. I wish you a good rest of the day. I'm sure you can keep yourself busy. And yeah, hope to see you soon in better days, better times when we can give a little hug and a handshake. But I'm sure these times will come back. So
yeah, we'll definitely need to do that, Ken, to meet each other. Last time we met was for the level 3. And congratulations on your level 3 certification. I know that was a big achievement. You earned it. And people should be very happy to have you as a coach, movement coach, and running and all the stuff that you like to do. So thank you for inviting me, and yeah, catch you soon.
All right. Thank you, Jerome. Have a great day.
Thank you. Ciao.